Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Blue Rescue Team. In the last episode, we unlocked the ability to select the emulator before I actually start recording next time. Maybe that's a good idea because I kind of like control over the game. To go to the Silent Chasm, and I looked up what the levels there are, and roughly around level 10 to 12. But every single Pokemon is around level 10 to 12, and there's no boss fights. So I did some grinding and I ended up going into bronze rank at I think 100 points. You go into bronze rank, and then I got 30 more points, and then I did some more grinding without doing missions because I didn't want to go like all the way to freaking gold rank. Not that that would actually happen, but anyway, we also got some new members in the team. We have a Bandit, which is a Redditor, which we're not going to use. And then we have a Rocky the Geodude, which we're actually going to bring. Because I was thinking, what am I going to do with like team composition? Because in this game, unlike every single sequel game, if you have a full party, which is usually 4 normal Pokemon or like 2 big Pokemon, I believe. Pokemon have size values, and legendary Pokemon can have a size value of 2 or 3. Whereas most normal Pokemon have a size value of 1. And your max size you can have in your team is 4. If that's filled, nobody will actually be able to join your team once you defeat him. In the sequel games, you can still collect team members, and they'll just be sent to their friend area base thing, and you'll be able to include them in your next mission. That doesn't happen in this game. If you have a full team, they just won't join you. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to have Barry and Vlogger, of course, in every single mission, because you kind of have to. I'm also skipping through this dialogue. I'm very sorry. I'll get back to the whole thing about team composition in a second. Monster? Oh yeah, that's about Zapdos. Yes, but it's only folklore. I don't know what the accent was I gave Jumpluff. I think it was like something like not very threatening, right? I mean, of course it's not, it's Jumpluff. It's also true that Shiftry hasn't returned, but I thought I should let you know, just to scare the crap out of you. My stomach, it hurts. Oh, what's wrong? My stomach suddenly started cramping up. Oh, I think it's something I ate this morning. Hey, Vlogger, you too, right? Vlogger, you have a stomach ache too, don't you? Wink, wink. I can't really wink all that well. I tend to close both my eyes. I don't know how that looked on camera. I feel like that is actually like some of the best winking I've ever done. So, count yourself lucky that I caught it on camera. No, I'm perfectly fine. You're just a little bitch. Huh? What's wrong with you, Vlogger? Back me up here. You're my partner, you have to catch my drift better. Why this sudden outburst, Barry? Don't you have a stomach ache? Oh yeah, I guess my cramps settled down. So, this monster, what is it like? I don't know very much at all. It's an old folk tale. I wouldn't know if it actually existed or not, but I wanted to tell you just because I wanted to scare you, because that's just kind of my role in this story at this point. Alright, there's nothing we can do about it, but we'll have to hope that a monster doesn't really exist. My friend Jumpluff, I'm also a Jumpluff. You see what that ends up happening when... Imagine, right? Imagine if everybody around you didn't have a name and you just called them Human. Yeah, this is my friend Human over here. That's Human 3. That's Human 2. It's Human 5 over there. He's a little bit of a weirdo. It just wouldn't work at all, would it? Okay, so now that we're in the dungeon, I can actually talk about team composition again. I'm going to bring 1 extra Pokemon, so that's 3 in total, into every single dungeon. And those will be based on... wrong button. Those will be based on the typing we're going to be facing there, and I'm now grinding up Rocky because we're going to be facing Zapdos soon. And for obvious reasons, Pulse might not be the best option to bring into Zapdos because Zapdos being an electric type and Rocky being a rock type. Of course, Rocky is going to have the advantage there. So it's a little bit of a lower level, as you can see on the top screen, which is the bottom screen. It's a smaller screen. It's actually the top screen, but doesn't matter. It's level 10, while we're level 13 and 14. It's a little bit lower level, but that doesn't matter. It'll get a little bit of level ups in the Silent Chasm and then in Mount Thunder, which is coming up next. And that way we'll have a spot on our team to get more Pokemon added to it when the opportunity arises, and that allows us to cycle out a couple of Pokemon whenever we need them. I think that's going to be the best way of doing this, and I think that might just be the best way of playing in general, not just the most fun for a Let's Play. I think that's legitimately just a good strategy. Just bring in one Pokemon for a little bit more power on your team and a little bit of type coverage, but then also having the room on your team to gain a new team member, which then will also strengthen your team to 4 members inside that dungeon, but then also just gets you a wider selection of Pokemon to choose from in other dungeons, which I think that might be a very, very good thing. I still don't know what brown gummy is. It might be rock, it might be ground, it might be fighting, it could be any of those. But I guess I could give it to Rocky and see if it does anything. Right? Okay, I learned Rock Throw. That's exactly what I needed you to learn, actually, for Zapdos. Also, fair warning, I just did a little bit of dialogue there. I probably should have brought Oran Berries. Oh well. What I learned, by the way, is that I can go into Rocky's... I might have learned this off-screen or on-screen, I don't know. Or anybody's items and go into use and they'll actually eat it. So, yeah, that was a very good gummy for you. I think it might be both rock and ground type, the brown gummy, because you learn 2 skills off of that. I was talking about something. Oh yeah, the dialogue in this episode. I hope there's not going to be a lot, because frankly, I didn't sleep that well. So I'm a little bit tired, and if there's one thing I'm not very good at, it's dialogue. And if there's one situation where that gets significantly worse, it's when I am tired and just not able to focus very much. I feel like that does usually end up being a little bit more entertaining. I need the max elixir. A little bit more entertaining for like normal commentary. Also, can you please shut your car? Thank you. For normal commentary, usually that ends up being just a little bit more entertaining, I feel. Other than the fact that I tend to repeat myself a little bit more when I'm tired. As you can clearly tell. But for dialogue reading, it's not a good thing. But I think there shouldn't be a lot of dialogue in this episode anyway. So this is exactly why I think I should have brought Oran Berries. I just kind of forgot. I have actually been using so many white gummies. I'm very happy we run into white gummies with Meowth. I don't think the IQ skills are going to matter too much. Probably... how can I get Berry to fight the Houndoom? Because I'm not quite sure that Rocky is going... Yeah. Water Gun. Please Water Gun him before Rocky dies. Actually, Rocky is doing fairly well. Holy crap. Okay, never mind. Rocky can pretty much take care of himself at this point. Doing totally fine. But as you can see, some Pokemon not an issue whatsoever, right? Also, being slowed in this game is actually really horrible, because it means that everything around you gets 2 turns for every turn you get, and using agility has the opposite effect, of course, giving you 2 turns for everybody else's 1 turn. Which means that agility is also a very, very good move. So a Pokemon with like agility and smokescreen, frankly, it's overpowered. Also, I could have sworn I disabled your Mudsport, because it's a useless move. Let's go into moves. Every time you leave the team and then rejoin, I have to do it again. That's annoying. I can't tell them to permanently join the team. I have to, for every single time I go out, tell them you're coming with me. And I think that's... I have the speed button mapped to the left trigger, and the L and R buttons to the bumpers, and sometimes I get that mixed up and I speed up the game. What was I talking about? I think in the sequel games, you can just say you're part of the team and you're coming with me by default until I tell you otherwise. This game doesn't have that. This game... That's pretty much what this episode is about so far. A lot of quality of life things the sequel games do. And I don't know that much about Gates to Infinity and Super Mystery Dungeon. But I guess that those gameplay elements are carried over from Explorers of Sky as well. Because they're really nice quality of life things. And I think this is the end of the dungeon. Okay, we did it. Wow. Jumpluff's friend's supposed to be around here, right? Oh hey, it's another Jumpluff. It looks exactly the same. Because that's what Jumpluffs do. Because they don't have names. We came for you. Are you alright? Yeah, I'm fine, but... Great, your friend is waiting for you. Shiftry's in the back. Huh? Shiftry? Let's go. Are you alright? Get it together. Forget about me. I don't remember the voice for Shiftry because it's been a couple of days since I recorded the last episode. Just this is Shiftry's voice from now, okay? Just so that we have a little bit of an understanding. Get away from here. Get away? What happened? It's pitch black. That implies that there's lights in the cave, which Zapdos turned off. And that implies that there are, like, actually, like, electricity. So there's just literally light bulbs, which get short-circuited. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. It's coming! Move aside, you. This is not a good Zapdos voice. This is more of a Grovyle voice. Which isn't in this game, obviously. How dare you disturb my sleep? I have no mercy for meddlers. It's not very much a Zapdos voice, but I'm gonna go with it. And that includes you. I'm not gonna say that. Because that's just a sound effect. Shiftry's dead. Wow. I am Zapdos, the embodiment of lightning. If you wish to save Shiftry, then scale Mount Thunder. And that's it. Also, it did turn back into the Grovyle voice. Yes. Zapdos, that's the legendary monster. How did you figure that out? Yeah, saved. I'm so happy. Even though I'm safe, Shiftry is in trouble. Tell us. What went down exactly? Yeah, Shiftry wiped up winds with his fans and released me from between the rocks, but those winds were tore thunderclouds in two, and that was when the monster appeared in the sky because convenience. Well, convenience for the story, not as much for Shiftry and Jumpluff, I suppose. That monster, it said it was Zapdos or something. Did you say Zapdos? Alakazam! Zapdos, one of the legendary bird Pokemon. I heard it'd been sleeping for a long time. So, Shiftry woke it up? No. Shiftry's winds were only the trigger. To begin with, the absence of winds there was unnatural. It must have been caused by the rash of natural disasters recently. Zapdos is enraged from having been awoken from its sleep. Shiftry must be saved. Well, Zapdos won't be easy. Its electric attacks are wicked nasty. I know that. We will need to be cautious. We'll go too. We'll go help Shiftry. What? That's dangerous. Zapdos is powerful. It will be too much for your skill level. Hey, now, we're not that wimpy. I have an itchy nose again. I don't know. This camera is making my nose itchy. It's freaking cursed, I'm telling you. We're not afraid of no Zapdos, isn't that right, vlogger? Oh, my stomach. Well, it is very nice, and I would like to get back at Barry for being a little bitch. I'm not scared. I don't want to, like, lose respect from Alakazam. I want to gain it. Alakazam is like our hero, apparently, right? Have you ever been hit with an electric blast? It'll leave you stunned and shaking. No problem. Zapdos is wicked tough. My voice keeps changing because, again, not very good at this whole voice thing. We're a rescue team too. We want to help Shiftry. Fine. I see that you have courage. Yeah! Our two teams should make our way separately through Mount Thunder, because the game doesn't allow for 5 Pokemon to be on one team, so that would be a whole thing, and we would either have to leave Barry or Flogger behind, or one of my teammates, and it would just be a whole thing. So let's just go separately, so you two can bring one of your teammates, and there will be 6 of us in total, and it'll all be fine. We'll go when we have geared up for battle. Knowing how strong our opponent is, we have no choice but to be cautious. You should make your way for Mount Thunder only when fully prepared. Our objective is to rescue Shiftry. Let us find success. Yes, I'm stoked for this. Flogger, let's give it our best, partner. And that is... Are we going to Mount Thunder right away? Are we doing this today? Do we have enough time to go to Mount Thunder? We have enough time to go through the first part of Mount Thunder at least once. I don't think we have enough time to actually get to the Zapdos fight. That'll be next episode. So now, we're supposed to go rescue Shiftry at Mount Thunder, right? But Alakazam we should be prepared before going. What do you think? Can we go to Mount Thunder right away? Blah, 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 blah. I didn't really read that second part, and I was just like, mashing the A button, onto the next part, brain is short-circuiting. Don't even attempt it. But whatever we do today, let's give it our best like always. We have a Rock-type Pokemon, we'll be fine. Let's go visit Rocky. Also, I would very much like a menu option where I can choose from a menu option who to bring, rather than having to go into the actual friend area and then walking around, because it's just tedious to have to do that every single time. So this time, let's not forget to bring Oran Berries and Revival Seeds, because damn, we're going to need them. We also have a little bit of money. Let's see if the Kecleon store has anything for us. A Revival Seed would be nice. It would very much be nice. Let's see how many we have in storage first. Also just kind of spits on the pop filter. I don't know why, because I have a very dry mouth, so I don't think that would be happening. Well, actually, let's store what we don't need as well. We might need to blast, not the blast seed, the max elixir. We might need like an apple. Probably won't need a gravel rock because we'll find more in there. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. And then we're going to take both Revival Seeds, because... And I'm going to buy the third one as well. I really feel like we should go and prepare like Alakazam told us to. And then a fair amount of Oran Berries, like 5? I mean, we probably will find a couple more Oran Berries in Mount Thunder itself. So I think we shouldn't bring too many. Let's bring one more. I think that brings us up to 4 in total, which is 1 for everyone and then 1 for the incompetent bastard that is Rocky. Let's bring a second max elixir just in case. And an escape orb in case we need to use it. I hope we won't have to use it, but just in case. And I think that'll be all we need right now. So... Actually, before we go buy that Revival Seed, I want to see if you have any useful TMs. Secret Power and Taunt. No, you do not. So let's just buy the Revival Seed and go to Mount Thunder. That sounds exciting. Let's take out some money. We only need like... I don't know how many Poké dollars thingies it was. I think it was 800 and now we have something like 1200. Yeah. Okay, we're ready to go. We're ready to go to Mount Thunder. And this might be one of the longer dungeons we've had so far, because it's definitely one of the... It's definitely one of like the milestones in the game, right? The 3 legendary birds and then... there's some other stuff, obviously, but the 3 legendary birds are milestones in the main story of the game, and this is the first one, so that tells you we're getting actually like into the meat of the game right here. So let's go to Mount Thunder and see what ends up happening. Probably not much good, gonna be honest, because I am not prepared for this. I don't know what level Zapdos is, but I think Zapdos is pretty tough to beat. This must be the foot of Mount Thunder. I wonder if Alakazam's team's already on its way. Zapdos, it sounds really tough. Also, I'm a water type, so you're gonna die. I'm shaking. But I can't be spooked by this. Our mission is to rescue Shiftry. Flogger, let's give it our best. I think there's like 12 floors to this, and then there's the second part, which is like 3 floors. So this shouldn't be too big a deal. Depending on what we actually end up finding in here, and if we actually can find a new team member. If you see how much trouble that Nidoran gave us, and that's just a Nidoran. That's probably one of the weaker Pokemon we're going to find in here. Because I'm pretty sure there's Nidorina and Nidorino on the higher floors. So let's go and check. Okay, now Rocky's moves are normal this time. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't know why that is. Because I definitely disabled them during like the grinding missions I did. Maybe it's when you reload a game? But that also would just be a really weird mechanic. If anything, I would almost classify that as a glitch, because that doesn't seem intentional. Or maybe I'm just a little bit stupid. Kinda figured you would attack him. I can't have you dying, I need you for Zapdos. Why did the Weedle attack? You're wasting my revival seeds already, you son of a... Really, why is a Weedle using string shots on... I mean, I'm not complaining, but it's a little bit weird. Don't you dare use string shots on me. Okay, that was a little bit scary, and we wasted 1 revival seed, which we were only on the... That was the first floor. That was the first floor, and we used up 1 revival seed on it. That's not a good sign of things to come whatsoever. That's horrible. Everything in here is just made to kill me. Because there's fighting types in here. Obviously, to counter the rock types, you're gonna bring for Zapdos. You know what? I don't even want a Weedle. I don't care. Oh, String Shot could have been nice. Damn it. Okay, if we get a chance for another Weedle, we're going to accept it. String Shot would have been nice to have. Okay, so things are going significantly better. I don't think I want anything other than a Weedle at this point, because just for String Shot, it's going to be so useful against Zapdos. Being able to attack Zapdos multiple times every time it attacks. I mean, I think you can stack String Shot and Agility and that kind of thing like up to 4 times. So if you have both Agility and something like String Shot, I think you can like be 16 times as fast. Or 8 times. I don't know how it works. If it stacks like in multipliers or in addition. So either 8 or 16 times as fast as your opponents. Which in difficult boss fights such as Zapdos and Moltres actually shouldn't be that big of a deal. Because we have Barry. But then Articuno is probably going to be a bit of an issue as well. And for some of those fights you can't actually bring... external team members either. We'll get into why that is when we get to that, because just in case you haven't played or seen this game before, I don't want to spoil it. But Zapdos is, I think, I don't know if you can go to Moltres with team members. I don't think you can. I think Zapdos is the only one where you can bring external team members. I think. I'm not entirely sure. So this Beedrill, I don't know if Beedrill is going to have String Shot as a thing. And I would really rather just have String Shot than a powerful Pokemon. Because I think, power-wise, we're pretty good. Because we've got a Geodude with Rock Throw, we are pretty strong ourselves. And that Electabuzz is going to be the death of me. Oh, I'm all out of scratches already. Okay, I don't know how many floors we have left to go is the issue. So I don't want to use a max. Oh my god, that's bad. Don't attack me. Don't attack me. Don't attack me. Don't attack. I mean, I have revival seeds, but I'd rather not have to use them. Oh man, Rocky, a little bit of help there. would be very appreciated. I'm going to eat an orange berry. And berry is actually doing fairly well on HP. So, Sky Gummy. Not something for berry. I thought it was going to be a blue gummy, which would have been good for berry. But obviously Sky Gummy is for flying type Pokemon, which we don't have at the moment. I would very much like if Zapdos joined our team, but he can't join our team until the post-game. You can capture or befriend, I should say, every single legendary Pokemon out there. Some of them have a ridiculously low chance of joining your team. I think like Mew, which is a post-game, in a post-game dungeon anyway, has a like 1% chance to join your team. And then you've got Regirock, Regice, and Registeel, which have a either 0.5% or 0.1% chance to join your team. And you don't need those for anything, I might add. There's a couple of dungeons which unlock when you get, for instance, Anti-Raikou and Suicune. All of them, I think, unlocks the dungeon for Lugia, I think. And if you have all the legendary birds, I think you get the one for Ho-Oh, or the other way around. I think it's the other way around, actually. Which would make sense, because Ho-Oh created Anti-Raikou and Suicune from the Burning Tower thing, right? So I think it's Anti-Raikou and Suicune for the Ho-Oh one. So Anti-Raikou and Suicune are more a means to an end in this game than anything else. But that's all post-game, which... Now that I'm talking more about the post-game and realizing how much post-game there actually is, a lot of the post-game is somewhat heavy in grinding and just having to redo certain dungeons again and again, trying to get certain Pokemon to join your team, mostly these legendaries. But there's also just is a lot of content, so I'm leaning more towards probably we should do the post game. But then again, we're only like, I don't know, 10% away through the main game, probably, if that. So I probably shouldn't. Okay, that was just a stupid idea. But you probably can do more damage than me, so as long as you don't use another Thunder Punch. Alright, okay, so I think... And Ampharos is also a Thunder type, an Electric type. Why am I skipping turns if I could use this? How are you living these attacks so well, Barry? Oh, you're about to die. I'm going to eat a Orange Berry myself and hope that Barry can just take out the Ampharos. If he doesn't, I'm going to step back. I mean, of course. Of course that would happen. Can you just please allow me to hit you? Thank you. Okay, this is a stressful dungeon. And we're almost at the 30-minute mark of the video. And I would very much like this video not to be very much longer than 30 minutes. So I'm hoping that we're getting close to the midway point of this dungeon. Because this dungeon is the first to have a midway point, I'm pretty sure. Because it has a very scary boss fight. And it's also just a longer dungeon, which I think it's like 10 or 12 floors. I'm going to use a max elixir because I don't think we're at the end of the dungeon at all yet. And I'm hungry. I probably should go get dinner after recording this episode. I was thinking about recording these 2 episodes in a row because I was thinking Silent Chasm is going to be an episode and then Mount Thunder is going to be an episode. And still, the whole Zapdos thing is going to be next episode. We're not going to make it to Zapdos this episode. So if you're thinking about... Oh, but Zapdos was in the thumbnail. Yeah, he was. But we're going to be fighting him next episode. Maybe Zapdos wasn't in the thumbnail now I would think about it. Maybe... Huh. Because I want Zapdos to be in next episode's thumbnail, right? And having 2 thumbnails with Zapdos in it in a row might be a little bit confusing for people seeing the thumbnail. Because they see the thumbnail, and usually in a thumbnail you only really focus on like 1 or 2 elements. And you don't see like, oh, it's in a different area, so it's got to be a different episode. And At that point, I would just be banking on the fact that people see that that's a different number. I don't know. I think this episode actually won't have Zapdos in the thumbnail, and it'll be... Okay, hunger mechanic. I'm getting hungry. As you walk around dungeons, as you fight, as you do things, your belly, which you can see in the top right of the bottom menu thing, which does increase. I think if your IQ goes up, it can go up to like 150 in total. Or maybe using certain foods, like a big apple. I don't exactly remember how it works. But your belly goes down, your hunger goes down. And if you get below like a certain number, you can't speed up like the game anymore, and you can't run anymore. And at a certain point, it'll actually start damaging you every step you take. That's why you have things like a plain seed, for instance, which is a raw fiber seed after it's being used. You can eat. And that refills your belly a little bit. And apples are actually very good to refill your belly. I think they refill like... you see, I'm already getting hungry again. Those refill... that's, I think, 50? Because I was at 19, probably. And then it went to 69. Nice. So they refill 50, and I think our big apples, which we'll get into that a lot later in the game. We won't run into those anytime soon yet. I think refill 100 or maybe over 100. I don't exactly remember every single little mechanic about a hunger system, because it's been a while since I've played a Mr. Dungeon game and had to deal with all that kind of stuff. I'm very happy to be playing Mr. Dungeon again, because even though this is the least refined version of this game, I think the writing in Gates to Infinity, by the way, is just not as good. But the gameplay mechanics definitely in this game are not as good as even Gates to Infinity. Because Gates to Infinity just could work upon what Explorers of Sky did, which worked upon what this game did. So... mechanically speaking, this is definitely the worst out of the entire series. At least the ones I have played. But still, it's just fun to traverse these dungeons. And not even just because it's a good story and you want to keep playing to get through the story. Because I've played this game multiple times. I know exactly what's going to happen at any given time. But just going through these dungeons and finding the loot and killing the Pokemon and just... It's almost addicting in a way, and I really do like it. And Rocky is getting up there in levels, and I'm very happy with that, because Rocky's actually going to be useful against Zapdos. Zapdos is going to be the first boss fight where I actually like spend time and like mental energy to do things with like moves on my partner Pokemon, because what you can do is just disable everything except one move, and they'll just use that move. And pretty much that's what I'm going to do. It does take a little bit of babysitting. It's a midway point. It does take a little bit of babysitting for you to do that, but it's definitely worth it, because you're pretty much at that point controlling 3 Pokemon. The only thing you can't control is where they walk, but for boss fights, usually that's not that important anyway. We made it to the midway point only using 1 Revival Seed and only like 1 Aura Berry, I think, as well. Maybe 2 Aura Berries, I don't recall. That's been it. Tomorrow, not tomorrow, in 2 days' time, because this is getting uploaded every other day, we will take on Zapdos, and hopefully we will win first time. Because if we die, we're going to be in for a little bit of trouble. Because we'll have lost all of our good items. I mean, we can save here, and we can just reload to save when we die. So... And until next time, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you have enjoyed this video. I just heard something. Yeah. Bye.